The NBA draft fast approaching a week from Thursday, and I am moving up the draft board quickly, I guarantee you that. And with that said, here now is our Road to the Draft presented by Kia. Here's Walt Clyde Frazier.
I think about these guys that get ready for the draft, and I almost wonder, I kept saying it before, but it's like, do we put, there's already added pressure. Because of this 24-hour news cycle and because we can follow them on Twitter from the time they're 14 or something, do we put the wrong amount of pressure on them for tonight when, they do have their whole lives ahead of them, wherever they go in the draft?
Yeah, it's too much pressure. It's like if you have a kid, it's too much pressure that this kid is expected to play all these games. Hey, man, when I grew up, we played on the playground of Atlanta, Georgia. I never went to Alabama, Mississippi, anywhere, even the west side of town to play. These kids have played all over the country already with AAU ball.
Yeah.
I think it's too much.
They're kind of in the league already.
It's too much, man. It's burnout.
Yeah.
You know how many players I see that won't go in a gym that used to play sports?
Really?
They are burned out from the game. Mostly football guys, if they play football.
Oh, I mean, the physicality.
And if they're people that ran track, they won't run anywhere now. Yeah, they're burned out, man, from the constant. Like, I have a nephew, right? So I got in touch with him. He was a baseball player. Then he played football. I go, what about a job? Has he ever heard of a summer job?
He's like, oh,
right, man. He never heard of a job. We had to work in the summer, man. You don't play sports. You go and get a job and work, man. But today, these guys don't do that. It's sports all year round, man.
Well, I think about it. In that case, it's like almost like it's just a natural ability that you have and what you've worked on up until that point, right? And then you watch these kids now, they're coming to the draft and there's so much pre-workout, there's so much pre-workout of their mental, of their physical, just to kind of get them prepped for the league.
Well, it is what it is now. It's a job, man.
Mm-hmm. It is.
It's a job.
And they have to treat it like that and respect it.
It's a 12-month job, right? Yeah. When we played, some guys didn't touch a ball in the summer. There were no leagues to go to. Unless you were in New York in the Rutgers, a few others. In Atlanta, Georgia, man, I used to have to play against the regular guys. There were many pro players around.
To get your game up.
Yeah. So it's just amazing, man. Who could I talk to about my diet, what to eat, really how to prepare for the game. You had none of that. What they prepared us for was life.
Yeah.
Because I was raised by this village, man. I had parents, grandparents, my aunts, my aunts, my uncles. Right, everyone told me, Walt, you can't play ball forever, man. You got to get an education.
Yeah.
That was my way out, education. Being a good person. It's important to be nice, but it's more important to be a good person.
Yeah.
So these were the values that were instilled in me. A tenacious work ethic.
Clyde provides the knowledge. Movado provides the countdown to the draft. Visit Movado.com, and that is not my arm. Bill Pito. I mean, just get a razor or something. All right, countdown to the draft. Pelicans at number 1. The Knicks at number 3. I know the Lakers are at 4, but will they stay at 4? That'll be certainly part of the conversation. As we continue the conversation on the draft, Alan John, Monica, and Jonathan Wasserman from Bleacher Report joins us right now, doing a lot of the mock drafts going into this draft. And all right, so, we're trying to figure out who's going number 1.
The Pelicans are going to do their homework. They're going to bring in some guys.
Stop it.
No, the lottery was a lottery to get Zion Williamson, and he is going to make this rebuild that they kind of been forced upon them. It's going to make it a lot easier once inevitably Anthony Davis gets moved, and he's going to plug right in and be that superstar that they can really build around for the future.
Who's the sleeper of the draft? Like, who's the Kawhi Leonard? Who's the Tony Parker?
If it was that easy, I'd be working for an NBA.
Exactly.
What I'm saying, but
that's actually the best answer to give. If I knew who Kawhi Leonard was in this draft.
No, but everyone, it's easy to pick like the top 7, top 5 guys. Okay. Like, who's a sleeper in the draft?
All right, I got a guy who's probably going to go 25, 35 range. Grant Williams from Tennessee. He is not your typical upside, Garrett. He plays below the rim.
You like that body style, though, in today's NBA?
Yeah, I think he's an out-of-the-box type of guy. He's 20. He's young for his class. I buy the intangibles. I think he's really highly skilled. I think eventually he'll bring the shot out to the three-point arc, and I think he's one of the most impressive defenders in terms of his anticipation, his defensive IQ. toughness, locker room guy.
Well, I know Rick Barnes very well, so I know he works hard, first and foremost. I know he's a hard worker because he doesn't recruit guys who don't work hard.
He's going to make a lot of friends during these interviews and talking with executives. He's going to help himself there.
He had a good, solid showing at the Combine, too, and the scrimmages.
It was almost a surprise to me that he actually played in the Combine.
Yeah.
He was the highest-rated guy I had that decided to scrimmage, which kind of tells you a lot about him. A competitive guy. Probably didn't have to play. Didn't even play that well, and I don't really think it hurt him. The other things popped. Like I said, the IQ, the intangibles. So I think he's going to fit in really well wherever he goes.
All right, we'll discuss some more of your risers coming up in a little bit, but let's just take a look at your mock top 10 right now of the players that you expect to go in the top 10. And Zion, boy, going out on a limb on that one, Jonathan. But at number 2, let's discuss, before we even get to the Knicks, and that's Ja Morant.
Yeah, Morant.
Are they locked in with him for sure?
All signs point to Morant. The process from the lottery till draft night, 5 weeks. So eventually we got to start talking about Barrett coming in for an interview. Are they going to actually consider him? I think they were probably sold on Morant to start. He's the more explosive, exciting player. Eventually they got to find a replacement for Mike Conley. I know he's a very solid player. Actually, it probably wouldn't hurt to keep Conley around for a little bit, a little mentorship. Yeah. But Morant has that explosiveness that points to upside. He's the best passer in the draft. And if he could knock down enough jump shots, I think he's got that all-star potential.
Now, why would he announce surgery before the draft? Usually a player, if they know they have a loose body in their knee, especially a guy that you know is locked in as high as number 2, I'm just not working out for anybody, and then you get drafted, right? We talked about this, John.
Absolutely.
And then you'll say, oh, my knee hurts. The team now has to pay for that surgery, not me. Why would he come out with that information now?
I'm sure he's getting some type of guidance, and somebody told him, whether it's from Memphis or from his camp, shut it down, get this over with. Maybe you'll be ready for Summer League, ready to go, and why not get it out of the way now before having to deal with it in Summer League, and that kind of delays the whole getting adjusted to the NBA, right?
All right, and we'll take another look at the top 10 as we'll move down the list. The number 3, that's where the Knicks are picking. RJ Barrett, I think he's been in New York for about a month now. He's been hanging around. He did have a light workout with the Knicks. He's met with the Knicks, and he's made it pretty clear he wants to be selected at 3. Is there any other scenario here, or do you feel like that's when you're writing in ink?
Unless the Knicks consider moving down and trading for those 2 picks that Atlanta has, 8 and 10, it would be really hard to imagine them going any other direction but RJ Barrett. They're going to look at Jared Culver from Texas Tech. I'm sure they'll look at DeAndre Hunter from Virginia. But Barrett, 18 years old, averaged 22 points and around 4 assists per game. He's just, everyone has known him for so long. He's not any mystery. Scouts have been watching him since he was a sophomore in high school. When I polled scouts before the season, every single one of them had him as the number 1 guy ahead of Zion.
Wow.
Nobody really knew how Zion's game would translate or how easily it would translate. But Barrett is just a guy you can easy to picture him fitting in with his body, his 6'7" size. Pretty good athlete, scores in every way imaginable, and really a competitive kid.
All right, John, so a little bit further down after 1 and 3, you've got Garland up pretty high. And a little bit of a mystery in that the last time you saw him play a complete game was when? Before Vanderbilt?
Was Jordan Brand Classic, McDonald's.
So you got a guy like Garland with mystery and question marks ahead of a guy like Kobe White, who we saw in action for the Tar Heels. Talk to me.
I think it says something about the rest of the field. Sorry, it says something about the guys who are 5, 6, and 7, and 8. Nobody there is can't miss, right? And something about Garland, the mystery, the intrigue. I think somebody, whether it's the Lakers or probably the Pelicans, are going to see him as the most sexy, attractive mystery guy, and everybody loves pull-up shooting in today's league. And man, he could pull up from 25 feet away, and it looks effortless. He'd also play off the ball, really good spot-up shooter. He's got to improve his floor game, getting guys involved and playing within the offense as a playmaker. But he was averaging 20 points through the 4 full games that he played. The shooting kind of creates a high floor. You know that's going to translate. So I think that they're going to take the chance that maybe he can be a Damian Lillard guy, but worst case scenario, he's somebody who could just make shots.
Well, strong comparison.
That gets excited. There's always those players. The Knicks saw it here with Mitchell Robinson and what he turned into, a second-round pick that did not play in college, but turned out to be a great pro. Jonathan, thanks so much. Appreciate the time. So the NBA draft coming up a week from tomorrow. It's almost here. See what happens. We seem to kind of have an idea of what 1, 2, and 3 are going to be.
For more great videos from the MSG 150, check out right there. And remember, our show is on Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10:30 p.m. on MSG Network and MSG Go.